everyone. Welcome to another podcast with GR Records. I'm your host Ayusha Subba, and today I have Miss Sonia Thapa beside me, who is a multi-talented woman, a podcaster, a writer, and a teacher. Hello, Miss. How have you been?
Hello, Aisha. I'm happy to be part of JR Records and I'm truly honored to be here right now.
Miss So, how did you feel in the morning after waking up to such a gloomy weather?
Depressed a little, but yeah, so far I really love Darjeeling.
Yes,
So,
Miss.
yeah, I look forward to, doing interview with you today. So it was fun.
So, Miss has written this book, The Melodies of Muglan. Can you please talk about it, Miss?
Melodies of Muglan is a collection of short stories, 15 short stories, where I have written about 15 different women. And it's a short stories. It's a short story about same culture but different women, and the plight of women. And through this short story, I want to convey a message to the reader, especially people living in Darjeeling, to make them understand about Darjeeling and its rich culture and history.
So, I've observed in your book that you take great pride regarding our Nepali community. So, what part of our community intrigues you, and what part of it do you want that people should know more about it?
I believe we Nepali, especially the ones who are living in India, are very resilient kind of,
Yes, Miss.
people. We are sandwiched between two great nations, and I kind of feel like, even me, I feel the identity crisis, that where do we belong to? Because we call ourselves Nepali, but we are Indian. So that identity crisis, which over the years, many generations of Nepali Indian we have been facing, I want to play that string with my book. So that's what it is about. You can be Nepali, you can have a different culture, but you can be Indian also. For
Yes,
many
Miss.
generations, my grandfather and his father, they've been living here, they've been working here. My father, my mother, my paternal, maternal family, they are here. But still, the question still remains, where do you belong to? I've never been to Nepal, to be honest, but I call myself Nepali because my
Yeah.
culture is Nepali.
Yes,
But
Miss.
I don't want to discredit the fact that I'm also Indian. So I hope that somewhere someone will pick this book and, will hear or will read about Nepali people living in India and their struggle, in at the place in a small town called Darjeeling.
So, Miss, through this book, you want more people to know about our culture.
Yes,
So,
yes.
which you talked about identity crisis before, and I feel that many people they do struggle, especially people from our community. So, what do you think that the people from our community can do to improve in that particular field?
I will tell you a very, an answer which we have heard many, many times: to be educated, to educate yourself. And not just to learn, but there are so many things you have to unlearn also.
Yeah,
Some prejudice you have about certain race, other people have against us, that also should, shed. Like, we consider ourselves to be very brave, but there's a very thin line that separates bravery from stupidity. So you have to be brave as well as clever, not cunning but clever,
yeah,
in order to understand certain things. So you have to be educated, and I want people to break that ceiling wall, I mean, glass ceiling, and
just go
travel,
there,
just go, you
explore.
explore,
Yes.
and let people know about you in a good manner, in a good way. So I hope the people who are watching this, especially Nepali people living in Darjeeling who are watching this, will understand, will broaden their horizon, will understand it in a very, good way. And the sole reason why I wrote this book is because I love Darjeeling and people living in Darjeeling, Darjeelingi people. So I hope they pick this book and they feel proud of being Darjeelingi. Yeah, and I hope they will also do certain things to make Darjeeling proud. And I believe there are so many talented people in Darjeeling,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
many talent,
Yeah.
and some are lucky enough to get that stage, and some are not. But I hope this interview and JR Records, whatever JR Records is doing, will encourage the youth of Darjeeling to actually make a mark,
Yes, Miss. So far, many people, they hide their talents. Like they feel afraid to come out of it. So, what do you think is the root cause of it? Why do you think they feel afraid to come out of that web?
I think there's a very famous saying that goes, stupid people are full of confidence. Only the talented ones are, shy. So I think that goes, and it's okay also where there is a doubt. That means you are doing something right, because you doubting, or the fear of failure is always there, and slowly the economic condition of people living in Darjeeling is also improving, and that is a very big factor. That is a very big factor. If you're economically crippled, you don't want to be an artist. To be an artist, you need to have money. Like, the famous writer Virginia Woolf said that you need money and a room of your own to write. So you need to have that economical, provisions made for you if you want to pursue art. So until and unless that you don't have that, people do not want to jump into certain things, So that is always there. It's always there.
So you do believe in the saying that money buys happiness?
Yeah, I do. To a certain extent, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Not just happiness. Money buys many things, actually. And many things that comes in with money, you can, bring happiness. Happiness is very subjective, What happiness mean to you will be different to me. What happiness mean to me will be different to someone else. So that is also true. And the fact is, money can buy you confidence, that I will not fail. It's a safety net. Yeah, that's there.
It's like lifetime security.
Yes.
SBI bond.
And you have to be rational also. You have to be rational, you artist people who are into art and artistic people, they tend to think with their heart more than mind. But these are the things that
that helps a person really move forward.
I have went through this. That's why I know, because I struggled to get it published. I struggled a lot. But fortunately, I was fortunate enough to self-publish this, and I was fortunate enough to get good reviews about it. And my book, it's in, I think this month I will receive the second edition.
So congratulations, Miss, for that.
Yeah.
So, Miss, you talked about economic gain, and you said how there should be financial aid for an artist to move forward. So, can you describe that moment that you had while publishing this book, the struggles, like how you said just now? Can you please describe that?
Regarding this, I'll tell you an incident that happened with me. Okay, when I was in school, I studied in St. Teresa's Girls' School. So I was in class 10. And I used to write. That was a kind of, a pocket money I used to get.
You used to write from class 10?
Yes, class 10. I used to write.
So you were really passionate writer.
I was kind of. I used to write.
What kind of stories?
It was just, a short story I wanted to sell. And I don't think so the school will allow it right now. But, but those days, I used to write, and then I used to give a friend who had a really good handwriting to copy my short story so that I could go and photocopy it. And then I would sell it, in the class, in the school, and sometimes I would sell it outside, and that's how I used to gain money, So that's how I started with, selling my short stories. And I thought that gave me kind of confidence, that people liked my story, the way I can do it. I can do it kind of thing. But in only later I realized that, I think it stays with you, that sometimes even you cannot let go of certain things, that you need to write. When you write short stories, or when you are writing stories, people are hungry for more and more. And the readers, I gain a certain readership. It was later with a particular group in Sikkim called Red and I think its name, I'm so sorry, its name is Red and Drawn. Okay, Red and Drawn, yes. So with Red and Drawn, I gain another popularity, and they used to hold a kind of a competition every month. So I used to participate and I used to
Win.
win. Yeah. So then I realized that okay, they really like my short stories. And when pandemic hit, I had a blog, so I began to write, and the stories it started coming to me, and I started writing every week. So then every week I used to put it up. Yes, I think for a month or two I used to do that.
Wow.
So that I think I'm in that way I'm passionate. Yeah, if I want to do something, I really do it.
Miss, so like before you begin anything, like for example, yours is writing, there is always a push factor that makes you do it, that makes you want to achieve it. So what was that push factor for you?
Somebody told me that I cannot do it. Somebody told me that my writing was really bad, and I
Oh,
was
so
like,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
your push
Yeah,
factor.
I was like, no, I'll show you. And then I started writing, and I published. It was very naive at that time because I was in college, and my writing was really, really bad.
So
But
was it like
yeah,
your batch mate or?
no. It was someone on Facebook, and that's why I don't have Facebook right now. I think because it really
Still now also.
I don't keep
It's the
Facebook.
grudge is still
Yeah,
there.
no, in a way, it became a fuel to
Yeah,
me. You know,
yeah.
I'm really passionate. I'm really passionate being, but it helped me a lot.
So
It
that
made me
was a push
fuel.
factor for you.
That one of the
Yeah.
factors, and another thing is I think we human being always crave to immortalize ourselves. You know, so not just that, but I want people to know about us. You know, because we people living in Darjeeling, Sikkim, Kalimpong, Kosong, we also have our own culture, identity culture, and such beautiful culture we have, and the stories that we have. And I have, when I was young, I was raised by my grandmother, my grandfather, and they used to tell me stories, and it has stayed with me. And whenever I write these stories or I recite these stories on podcasts, I get feedback like, oh, this is nostalgia and this and that, and I really enjoy that. That I'm making people remember people of the past.
Yeah.
Though my grandmother is no more, and I keep her memory alive in short stories like
So
these.
your grandmother is still there with you
Yes,
through your short stories.
yes.
So, Miss, being a writer is a very lengthy process. It is a lengthy process. So, were there times when you felt like giving up?
It was very brief, I think. Not, I do feel sometimes. I feel I'm a little lazy when it comes to writing and completing. I'm lazy when it
Because
comes
it
to
truly
completing.
gets to your head.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you write and you feel like, oh, this is not right, the way you've imagined it, and when you start typing and writing, it has its mind of its own. Okay, so only that factor is there, and I need my alone time. I need my own, privacy so that I can write. And living with my family is also one of
Joint
the
family.
yeah, not joint, but because my mother is very religious, and she's coming and she's calling me for prayer. Let's go for evening prayer. Just have your dinner and all, because you tend to work in your own pace, right? And once it goes, it should not stop. So once it breaks,
It just goes away.
it goes away like Kublai Khan.
Because
when the
I
writer is
feel like
writing.
while writing, you get that sudden motivation, and
Yes.
then when there's an interruption,
That's
you
why
just
I
forget it.
That's why I
Yeah.
tell these kind of energy, these kind of energies are also, I think, whatever creative people go through, they have this in a flash of a moment or a fraction of second, they have this idea, okay, I'll paint, or I'll write something, I'll do something, I'll sketch, and that's it. I kind of feel like that. And same here, I have the same thing. Like, I get an idea, and if I don't jot it down, if I don't write it down, it goes away. So I fear that will
You
happen.
might be able to complete.
So that's why whenever I'm walking to school, I if I have that idea, then I'll just take out my phone and I'll write, oh, this thing is happening, this thing is happening. So it begins not with the beginning stories, it begins in the middle. Okay, certain scenes are there, and then through that I have to go home.
So you picture it, and then you continue with it.
Yes, germinate it for a while. Yeah.
So, Miss, I believe you read a lot of books. I mean, the way you talk about books, the way you write your book also.
No, not these days. Not these days, but yeah, I do wish I would read more,
Yeah.
I just finished, I think only yesterday, I finished a book The name of the book is what was the name of the book? Oh, The Tattooist of I forgot the name of the writer. Tattooist of Auschwitz. It's a real story about a prisoner who suffered in Poland and his story when he was a tattooist. So, yeah, I finished that story. But nowadays I like reading nonfiction.
So, Miss, do you hide any secrets in your books that only a few people will find?
I think I do, yes.
What is it?
Easter egg. No, I cannot, since it's a secret, I cannot. But I can tell you the first story that you see, that you read is a kind of, people who know, they know.
So
because
it's up to the people to find about it.
I'm a big astrology fan, and I really enjoy reading,
about
Chinese,
astrology.
that and Chinese zodiac. So the story is about that, born in the year of the dog, born in the year of the tiger, this and that. So people who know, they'll know.
When were you born, Miss?
I was born in 1992, so I was born in the year of monkey. Yeah.
So how did you choose the title for your book, and what significance does it hold for you?
Melodies of Muglan, I played with alliteration over there.
Yeah.
So first I had this plan to publish a book with my best friend. She's an assistant teacher, assistant lecturer in NP College, Pooja Rai. She writes poetry. So I thought that let's do one thing. Let's publish a book. You can write poetry, I'll write short stories, and let's name it a montage of melody, something like that. And then it never,
partnership.
It was a kind of, collaboration,
a
partnership. But it never happened. But I wanted to publish a book. So I thought that I played with words here and there, and I thought, why not Muglan? Because I'm writing about Darjeeling, and Muglan is a word which has, different significance. It has different meaning also. Because earlier I used to say Muglan. And my family, my grandparents, they used to call this particular area Muglan, because that's what they heard from their ancestors.
I believe you've given a short description about it in your book.
The N removed, because later on when I researched and when I found that they used to call this particular area Muglan, because India was then ruled by Mughals. But I felt like, they call it Muglan because they could not pronounce the word England, because that's what happened to my my village. I come from Glenmont Tea Estate, and I live in a village named Kombol. But actually the place was, I believe, the place there, the planter's name was Campbell. So they could not pronounce the Sahib's name Campbell, so they said Kombol. Now it has, so people know it as Kombol or Baragaon,
And can you share a moment from your personal life that inspired a scene or character from the book?
This book is a kind of, let's say, there are few things that I have kept, I have been taken this liberty to be creative, and there are few scenes, few things like short stories, like there's one short story called Unmarked in the book, which is entirely true, which really happened.
Pinned in your life.
Yes. So my friend and I, we were sitting by her sister's grave, and that thing happened, that some hooligans came and jumped on the grave, and it was at that moment I felt really sorry for my friend also, and I felt really angry and sad,
because that was very bad.
And then after many years I found out that particular guy, he got married, and he had a little baby who died, so sometimes it comes back.
So you believe in karma?
Yeah, I do believe. I like to believe, and I think
so.
It's
were there times in your life when you felt like, this person had this to me, so I want this person to...
I tend to be vindictive at times, I tend to be very vindictive at times, but yes.
But it's human nature, like...
It's human nature, but my religion does not allow me. So it's like a forbidden fruit for me. Like, my religion does not allow, but I tend to be very vindictive at times. But I'm controlling myself. There are these things there, yes.
How do you balance your writing career with other aspects of your life? Because I believe you are not only a writer, you are a teacher, a podcaster. How do you balance it?
Currently, it's very difficult for me to balance because I feel like I'm limping,
Yeah,
because I'm a teacher, podcaster, writer, and I have to juggle so many things at once. So right now I'm just reading, and I have a few project line up for podcast. So I think it's going,
It's going on
Sometimes you have to do
smoothly.
what you
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
do, it's
Yeah,
going.
but I truly enjoyed the conversations that I had with you, and today I came to know you in a deeper level, and I truly admire the way you talk. You talk so nicely, so confidently about your culture, and I truly admire the way you read. And it's such a pleasure to have you over here with me. And thank you so much. I'll always forever be grateful that you accepted our invitation. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for today. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you so much. It's so nice to finally, come here and give this interview. When you first approached me that I have to, Miss, would you like to do an interview? And I was still, apprehensive maybe, but then I really enjoyed today, and it was such a good session. And I hope in future, I give my best wishes to GR Records and the interview. I've seen you in school, and I feel like you've grown up so much, not only in height but in talent as well, yeah. But yes, and I really enjoyed today, and I'm so grateful and so thankful, to be a part of this session. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Miss. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.